Welcome to It's Not What You Think with Mordy Levine. In this episode, we get to meet three precious jewels, three senior citizens, Mary Jane, Fulvio, and Carolyn. Their average age is 87. They share their thoughts on their lives so far and what they look forward to. They are all beautiful beings with some very special thoughts. This is episode 17 of It's Not What You Think, recorded in June 2021. It's Not What You Think podcast is available on YouTube and Spotify platforms, so please like, comment, share, or subscribe on your favorite platform. That support is enough to continue to allow us to produce this show. Our interviews are with people who may have opinions different from yours or mine, so while we keep an open mind, remember, it's not what you think. So, hi, Mary Jane. Welcome to the podcast. It's Not What You Think. So can you tell me just a little bit about yourself? Maybe start with your name, your age, and the kind of work you did before you retired.
Okay, I'm Mary Jane Boyd. I'm 87 years old, proud of that. And I have a background in nursing and teaching. I taught classes on death and dying for hospice for like 15 years. But let's say I got married pretty quickly out of nursing school. So I didn't have too much experience, in the nursing profession.
Mm-hmm. And about how long have you been retired?
Let's see, I guess since I was 63.
Great.
Whenever I got Social Security is when I retired.
Right. And even though I know the answer, I'll ask the question. Have you been enjoying your retirement? And if so, what do you like about it?
Um, I like not having to get up early in the morning. That's always a good thing for me because I like to stay up late at night and sleep late in the morning. But I like having the freedom to spend time with my family, to do the things that I really enjoy doing, like playing bridge. Unfortunately, I can no longer play tennis, but I watch it on television. And, just that freedom from having to be someplace from 9 to 5 every day, just to make your choices as you move through the day. Um, I love that.
Beautiful, beautiful. And if you look back when you were younger versus now, is retirement what you expected it to be?
I never really thought about retirement. I didn't work for many, many years. And in fact, I think I started working in 1984. So I was already in my 50s, and my job with hospice was something that I thoroughly enjoyed and wanted to be doing every day. And I don't know, I enjoyed life when I was working also, but I never really gave much thought to retirement,
Mhm.
uh, and how things would change for
Mhm.
me.
So, looking back on your life, what are some of the things that you've done that you're most proud of?
Um, okay, let's see. I guess, well, I'm most proud of my family, and I have 4 children, but you're looking for something more than that.
No,
Everybody's
no,
proud
I'm
of
not
their
looking for anything. Whatever you want to share would be
Okay,
wonderful.
I guess I was serving on a school board in 1982 when I lived in Arizona. And I read this tiny little article in Time magazine about this disease called, it wasn't called AIDS then. I don't even remember what they called it. But I was interested because I thought this is a disease with no cure. And it's greatly going to impact our future, and particularly with, in education. So I started reading everything I could find. And then we moved here in 84. and I got very involved with working with people with AIDS and HIV disease. And I did that for 20 plus years. And I helped start or open the first house in North County for people with AIDS. And um, I guess I mean, I know that's something I'm really proud of. And I think maybe that's one of the best things I did.
Yeah, that's inspiring to say the least. Um, so, what in particular do you look forward to in the next few years?
Well, let's see. I think just continuing living my life as I am now. Um, I'm still in my um, home that we moved into in 1984. My husband died about a little over 2 years ago, and I'm fortunate to have four adult children who are in this area, and I have nine perfect grandchildren. And I'm independent, but my daughter lives with me. I try to tell her not to do for me anything I can do for myself, but sometimes I think their loving kindness is killing me because I don't get to do enough. But I am moving much more slowly and it takes me longer to do things. So I really appreciate having them around and having them help me. But I just want to continue playing bridge, reading the books that I love. I'm even rereading some old favorites uh, and being with family and sharing time with friends and um, being independent as long as I possibly can.
Beautiful. Thank you. So, I'm going to shift gears a little bit. So, do you believe in God or some whatever word you want to use?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about God anymore. uh, I believe, I'll say I'm a spiritual person. I'm not affiliated with any church. Um, my husband, I think, had some influence on me. He felt that all religions were cults. And
Okay.
he was not, he came from a Jewish background. And I came from I started out as a Southern Baptist, um, which is, as you know, a very conservative religion. Um, and I never, even as a young child, could accept all those stories about, what Jesus did. Like, for instance, when I learned to cook and I had my first visitors in for a meal, I thought I bought so much food because I didn't know how to manage. And I thought about that story about Jesus feeding, I don't know what, 2,000 people on two little fish. And I thought, no way. I'm glad I never believed that story because I knew it wasn't possible. But anyhow, I went from being a Southern Baptist to a Methodist to a Presbyterian to a Unitarian to the Self Realization Fellowship. And I don't know, I accept and respect all of the great religious leaders. They all had their own way of teaching us how to live a good life. And I think that's where I am. I do believe there's some divine power. Uh, I worked in the labor and delivery room when I first got out of my nursing school. And to see the birth of a child and go through that process of having them take their first breath, uh, it it forced me to believe, if I didn't at that point, that there was something greater than just um, us, people and mankind.
It's hard to it's hard to ignore experiences like that,
Yeah,
for sure, for sure. So, where do you think you or your spirit or your soul will go when you do pass on from this life?
I have no idea. I my I guess my thoughts are I don't know. So um, my goal is to live the best life I can, and if there's another life after this one, I'll be happy. But if there isn't, I want to be satisfied that I have done the best I can, in this life, because this is the only one I know about. And I don't know that's really hard. Uh,
Well, what's interesting is you're in a win-win situation for yourself
I
because
am.
you're doing the best life the best you can. So if there's an afterlife or a next life, you're set, and if not, you're also set. So
That.
that's a wonderful attitude to have.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. I know that as I get older, I think about dying much more than when I was younger. Do you think about it at all, or these days?
Uh, yeah, yeah, I do. Especially since my husband died. Um, and well, even with my experience with hospice, that forced you to think about death um, and look at your own life and think about your own uh, death. I don't think I have any fear of dying. Um, I guess it's a process of getting there. My fear is not, I don't have any fear of being abandoned because I know my children are not going to do that. Um, I don't have any fear of pain because I believe in chemical intervention as necessary. Um, I guess my feeling is a loss of my independence and becoming dependent on others to take care of me. I don't want that to happen, although I don't have the courage of my husband, um, to exercise my option to control my own death. I don't think I do, but maybe when I get to that point, uh, that will become more clear to me. Um, it's sort of funny that at age 87, you can be so unclear on so many issues because I feel like I've been learning all my life. But in all these big questions that you're asking, I don't have any answers.
Well, what I've noticed is the older I get, the less I know
Yeah, that
on
is true.
on a lot of these questions.
Thank you for reminding me of that.
So I think you're in good company if you're in my company. Uh,
I'll agree.
last question. So, from all of your experience, what advice do you have for your children, your grandchildren, or for those watching this video about how best to live life?
I Well, racial and social issues, which are right in front of our face now, come to mind. But I think my advice would be for my children and grandchildren and for all people to look within themselves with a great deal of love and kindness and to figure out who they are and how they want to be in this world, and just to keep an open heart and be accepting of, I don't like the word tolerant, but just accept the differences that um, exist and um, treat people with love and understanding and compassion.
Beautiful. As my grandmother would say, from your mouth to God's ears.
I hope so.
So I really appreciate you taking the time today to speak with me about your life. I know this will be very inspiring to many people. And what I would also like to say is, from a Buddhist perspective and from my perspective, you are what's known as a precious jewel.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. And I'm glad I met you, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you, Mordy.
Okay.
I'm glad to know you, and I hope we do see each other again in the
Absolutely.
future.
Absolutely.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
You too.
So,
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
yeah.
So hi, Fulvio. Thank you so much for joining me.
Gracias, bienvenido
Thank you.
por participar.
And welcome to the podcast called It's
Bien.
Not What You Think.
Bienvenido al podcast que se titula No es lo que vos pensás.
No. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
I'm
So
feeling good.
can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Maybe start with your name, your age, and the kind of work you did before you retired.
Sí, le puedes decir tu nombre,
Mi
tu
nombre.
edad y también un poquito sobre tu trabajo anterior a tu retiro.
Bueno, me llamo Fulvio Orozco.
My name is Fulvio Orozco.
Mi edad 91 años.
I'm 91 years old.
Del trabajo antes de que me retirara.
Antes.
Yo generalmente me destaqué todo el tiempo como, digamos, jefe de oficina de parte de... Bueno, de 9 años comencé trabajando con limpieza de la oficina.
Okay. Okay. So he's going back to when he was about when he started working. He was actually 9 years old, but la pregunta es sobre a partir de que te retiraste. ¿Cuál era el trabajo que estabas haciendo cuando te retiraste?
El trabajo que estaba haciendo cuando me retiré, trabajaba en el Levine,
Okay.
en el departamento de shipping.
Okay. So his last job before he retired was actually at Lily Diamond, a company in Los Angeles, in LA, and he used to do shipping and handling.
Okay, great. Thank you. And about how long have you been retired now?
¿Hace cuántos años estás retirado?
26 años.
It's been 26 years.
Beautiful. And have you been enjoying your retirement? And what do you like about it?
¿Has estado disfrutando tus años de retiro? ¿Qué es lo que te gusta?
Sí, lo he disfrutado porque me dediqué a la venta, que es lo que mucho me gusta.
Okay, I have enjoyed it because I actually continued working in the sales profession, and he's enjoyed it very much.
So you enjoyed your retirement because you got a chance to keep working.
Digamos, te disfrutaste tu retiro porque tuviste la oportunidad
Sí.
de seguir trabajando.
De seguir trabajando, y si no fuera la pandemia, estuviera trabajando.
And if it was not for the pandemic, he would be working.
Okay, got it. Would you keep working until you hit 100, 110, 120? When would you stop working?
¿Hasta cuándo continuarías trabajando? ¿Hasta los 100, 110, 120 años?
Si tengo la energía, trabajaría hasta los 105.
If he would have the energy, he would continue till 105.
105. Okay, I just want to let me make a note. 105. Okay. So, was your retirement what you expected it to be?
¿Tu época de retiro es lo que vos pensabas que iba a ser?
No. Nunca
No.
pensé vivir a esta edad. Nunca pensé llegar a vivir tan.
No, because he never thought he was going to live to be 91.
Ah, understood. Understood. Well, good. I'm very happy you're here. So, looking back on your life, what are some of the things that you've done that you are the most proud of?
Regresando a tu vida, pensando en tu vida, ¿cuáles son las cosas de las cuales estás más orgulloso?
Bueno, estoy orgulloso de mis hijos y estoy orgulloso por la sencilla razón que todavía me puedo valer por sí solo en la mayoría de las cosas.
He's proud of his children, and he's also proud that he can still pretty much, he's still independent. He can still take care of himself.
Beautiful. So your health is good.
Entonces, tener buena salud.
Ay, no.
Good. I'm very happy. I'm very happy about that. What do you look forward to in the next few years?
Digamos, ¿qué es lo que estás pensando que puedes hacer en los próximos años?
Bueno, dedicarme a la venta. Seguir vendiendo lo que vendía.
He would still like to continue to sell, do his
Beautiful.
sales.
Okay, wonderful.
Si
I
me
like
iba a
that.
trabajar a un lugar de empaque, me iría a trabajar ahí.
Or if he's in a, shipping and handling department, he would still go for it.
Okay. Great. We're going to put you to work because the United States, we need people like you. It's wonderful. I'm going to change topics a little bit here. So Fulvio, do you believe in God?
Va a cambiar de tema. ¿Vos crees en Dios?
Sí, creo en el creador.
In the creator, he says he believes in the
Yes.
creator.
In the creator.
Respeto
Okay,
al
good.
universo.
Beautiful.
A respect to the universe.
Thank you. Where do you think you or your spirit or your soul will go when you pass on from this life?
¿Dónde crees vos que te vas a ir, ya sea vos, tu persona, tu espíritu, tu alma, cuando ya no estés en esta vida?
¿Y dónde voy a estar? Pienso que voy a estar en un buen lugar.
He thinks he's going to be in a good place.
Good. Okay. And, I know when I get old, as I get older, I think about dying much more than when I was younger. Do you think about it at all?
Digamos, él que ahora, con la edad que tiene, él ahora ya está pensando un poco más en la muerte. Entonces, quería saber. Sorry, can you ask that again, Mordy?
Sure.
Yo nunca.
I know that as I get older, I think about dying much more than when I was younger.
Yes.
Do you think about it at all?
Quiere saber si vos pensás. Él ahora está pensando más en la muerte por su edad, pero
No,
si vos lo pensás.
yo no he pensado en la muerte. Yo sé que es un proceso natural de la vida y la acepto el día que me llegue, pero nunca pienso en ella. Es como con la edad. Para mí la edad es un número.
Okay. No, he actually doesn't think of death. He sees it as it's a natural process of life. And, ¿qué más dije?
Bueno, que para mí la edad es un número y que creo en la muerte. Sé que uno tiene que morirse, pero no pienso en ella.
Okay. He doesn't think about death. And bottom line, he just sees it as it's a natural process that we're all going through.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So from all of your experience, what advice do you have for your children or those watching this video about how best to live life?
Digamos, de lo que has vivido, ¿qué es lo que vos consideras que fuese bueno para las personas que van a ver este video sobre la vida? Digamos, como una recomendación, un consejo de tu vida.
Bueno, mi recomendación es respetar la vida.
To have respect for life.
Respetar a los seres humanos.
To respect humans.
Disfrutar de la compañía de la familia.
To enjoy your family.
Beautiful.
De preferencia a mis hijos.
In his case, his children.
Y estoy feliz de en la edad que estoy estar con ellos.
And he's happy to be this age and to be with his children.
Absolutely beautiful. Very. So could you let him know that I find him to be very inspiring?
Que quiere que te deje saber que te ve inspirador, que lo inspiraste.
Okay, thank you.
So I really appreciate you taking the time today to speak with me about your life.
Te agradece por tomarte el tiempo para poder hablar con él.
Cuando usted guste, cuando usted quiere, con mucho gusto platicamos.
Anytime, he's more than happy and welcome to enjoy speaking to you.
And if you can let him know, I know that this will be inspiring to many people.
Y él piensa que esto puede ser inspirador para mucha otra gente.
Ojalá.
Let's hope so.
Okay. Thank you. Great seeing you, Fulvio.
No, you're welcome.
Okay. Enjoy.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So hi, Carolyn. Welcome to the podcast. It's Not What You Think.
Thank you.
So can you just tell me a little bit about yourself? Maybe just start with your name and the kind of work you did before you retired.
Well, my name is Carolyn Chernoff, and I spent 30 years teaching. I was a classroom teacher for 15 years. And for the second 15 years, I was a specialist in reading.
Great.
I saw children who had learning difficulties. I saw gifted children. I conferred with the teachers, and that was my career.
Beautiful. Wow. Wonderful. I'm going to ask you another question before I do. Just take the computer and tilt it down just a little bit, if you can do that. There you go. Perfect.
There we go.
Thanks.
Yes.
And how long have you been retired now? About?
I retired, I think it was about 1992, a long
1992.
time ago.
So, wow, almost 30 years now. Wow.
Yes.
And have you been enjoying your retirement? And if so, yeah, I kind of know you have been. What do you like about your retirement? What are some of the things that you're enjoying?
Well, I immediately after I retired, my husband and I moved to Florida, and I played golf frequently. I loved the game. I wasn't terribly good, but I just loved playing. Met some wonderful people. My husband was working, and that was how I spent the next 10, 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then he passed away, and I was single.
Right.
Still playing golf, though.
Right. Good. Is retirement kind of what you expected it to be when you were younger and you were thinking in your 20s and your 30s, oh, one day I'll retire and this is what it's going to be like? Has it
gave it a thought, really, until I knew that I was retired from my position as a reading teacher, and was happy to go back to the kindergarten. I loved teaching kindergarten, but the building was old and the tables and chairs were heavy, and I was already past 60, so I decided to retire.
So it was time. Got it. So looking back on your life, what are some of the things that you've done that you're most proud of when you look back?
Well, that I'm most proud of, but I'm not. I never thought of myself as being proud. I just tried to enjoy what I could. I watched the children grow up, get married, a few grandchildren, and this is totally unexpected because now, of course, I'm at an age that I never anticipated being, but I'm doing different things now.
Isn't that wonderful? Good. And what do you look forward to in the next few years?
I look forward to healthy aging. At this stage of my life, that's really the most important thing. And of course, I'm fortunate that I have wonderful company. I have a wonderful daughter who turned 60 today.
That's right. Happy birthday.
She was my 30th birthday present.
That's right.
And I have a wonderful son-in-law who's keeping me young, not only mentally, but physically.
Good.
And I'm looking forward to seeing my children in Florida and the grandchildren. And good health is the most important thing to me right now. And
as I recall, you are going to be turning 90 in approximately a week.
8 days.
That's great. Good for you. Very exciting.
Right.
I'm going to shift the gears a little bit. So do you believe in God?
Not as such, no.
Okay. And you can define God any way you want.
Well, I think that there is something in the universe that's beyond us, me, people. But do I believe in a God? Not really.
Got it. And where do you think you or your spirit or your soul will go when it's time for you to pass on? I
never gave it a thought until I talked with you, Mordy.
Okay.
Not very much, but a little, and enough to get me thinking that maybe you and I should talk a little more about the Bardo. I'm interested in it.
Okay, very good. Happy to do that. Good. So, as I get older, I think about dying much more than when I was younger. I never thought about it until, the last 5 or 10 years or so. So do you think about it at all?
Well, I think a little bit. I try not to dwell on it because I've always been an up person. And I just try to think positively. And as I said, the most important thing to me is to remain in good health. And you're helping me a great deal, not only mentally, but physically. And I do think about standing up straight.
Okay, good. Good. So you're
from the
working on it.
top of my head to my toes.
It's a work in progress for all of us. You're not the only one. So from all of your experiences, what advice do you have for your children or anyone watching this video about how best to live life? If anyone can give advice, it's someone that's been there, been down the road like yourself. So what advice can you give your kids, your grandchildren, or anyone else watching this video on how
Well,
best to live life?
I think what I've been able to take away from my past and what my future will be is to think positively. I never thought negatively, although I mean, of course, I as a living person, things happen that we don't have control over. But basically, I'm positive. I look forward to new things. I've been doing things. I'm learning to play the piano again, and I am enjoying that. And it's really hard, but I'm making progress. And I have a lot of friends that I've met that I play a lot of bridge with online. Hopefully, we'll play in person soon.
Good. Very good. Wonderful. Great advice. That's good advice from me. Anyways, I really appreciate you taking the time today to speak with me about your life. I know that this will be inspiring to many, many people. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having
Okay.
me.
Enjoy the day.
You're wonderful.
Thanks. I hope you enjoyed our conversations with Mary Jane, Fulvio, and Carolyn. I certainly did. Please like, comment, share, or subscribe to the It's Not What You Think podcast. That really helps us to continue to produce these episodes and invite other guests from around the world. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or would like to hear any specific guests on the podcast, please share my email, mordylevine@gmail.com, or visit mordylevine.com. Remember, it's not what you think.